everyone, it's Emily. Today's video is going to be a very easy, beginner-friendly glitter cut crease. So if you're just starting out with glitter or cut crease, I think this video will be giving you a few tricks that might be helpful. I'm also recreating this look that I was wearing recently in a video. I've been getting a lot of requests, so I'm doing this today. It's perfect for New Year's Eve that's coming up, or a date night or Valentine's Day. You can easily just change the colors and adapt for the occasion. So let's do this. First off, I'm going to be priming my face because I'm still dealing with the flu and my face gets so dry when I get sick. So I've been using the Urban Decay. This is the Hot Springs Hydrating Gel. It's basically a gel clear, as you can see, moisturizer. The thing is, it works really well as a primer since it absorbs super quickly and it doesn't affect the consistency of your foundation. It absorbs cleanly and it doesn't leave anything on your face that's going to roll off once you start applying something on top. So I've been really enjoying using this as a primer every time I get sick or my skin is too dehydrated. So it's been great. With all the food I've been eating for holidays, I've been breaking out. It's not that bad right now. There's probably just this one and there's brown around my nose. So to make sure everything is covered, I'm going to be using my trusty Lancôme Teint Idole foundation. It has great coverage, but it still looks very natural. I'm going to use the beauty blender to apply it because it's going to make it pretty thin and natural, but there's still going to be a good amount of coverage. If you want more coverage, you can always use a brush, but I like the finish of the beauty blender. I feel like I probably should start mixing it with the lighter one, but I'm just gonna blend it down my neck because what I'm wearing is pretty high neck, so we're not gonna see my body much. I'm gonna make sure my under eyes are completely covered using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I'm using the shade Light. Everyone raves about this and I completely understand the hype. It's definitely worth it, but it is on the drying side, and since I've been sick, my eye area has been especially dry, so I try to not overdo it because on a daily basis that might be a bit too much, but since I want to look flawless, we're gonna apply it. And because I can't seem to find my paint pot anywhere, I'm gonna use this to just cover my veins too. Don't forget to get really in the corner right here. That's where a lot of darkness is. Well, I was expecting my under eyes to look drier than this with the concealer. I'm pleasantly surprised. I've been using, you know those pads that you wear, moisturizing pads under your eyes? They definitely help, but I'm sure eventually my eyes are gonna look dry again because, again, I need to drink more water when I get sick. And then with whatever is left, I'm gonna be contouring a little bit, mostly just illuminating the center of my face. And then just to make extra sure that these pimples will be covered all night, I will be applying the Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealer. It's super waterproof concealer. I've had this for way too long. At this point, I'm ashamed to say it out loud on the internet. But this will last you forever and it's amazing. It's full coverage, but it doesn't look cakey at all. It's not one of those concealers that you apply and then midday you look at yourself in the mirror and you can see your pimple again. This will stay. I mean, it is waterproof. They're not kidding. They're the brand that sponsored a lot of synchronized swimmers, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, if that stuff works on them, it will work on me. I'm gonna set everything in place with a loose powder. I've been trying to mini project pan with myself because I'm not committing to that on the internet. I feel like people get super intense and I'm not gonna reapply product 50 times a day just to try and finish them. But I've been using this Cover FX. This is the matte setting powder in Light, and look at this. I have never, ever finished a loose powder. My skin used to be really dry, so that was kind of hard. And now that it's oilier, it's definitely easier, but I'm still gonna be proud. I'm waiting for it to happen. But it's a great powder. Just no fuss, does the trick. I like it. I'm gonna apply a little bit under my eyes to set the concealer, but again, don't overdo it because drying. Now the tough part starts. The eye. I would have started with the eyes only if I was going to do something super dramatic, but since it's a pretty natural one, you can get away with doing your foundation first. I'm someone I prefer to do like my foundation, my brows before my eyes. It's mostly because I hate doing them afterwards, but if you're comfortable doing your foundation when your brows are done, for example, then if you do something dramatic, it's always better to start with it. But brows, I'm going to use my trusty Anastasia Brow Wiz in Granite. I feel like I've been making my brows too dark lately. Anyway, we're going to be using the Essence Make Me Brow just to give the illusion of more brow hair, a little fiber, and it's going to set everything in place too. Time to finally do the eye makeup. For the crease color, depending on your skin tone, undertone, you can definitely choose a different color. If you have a warmer undertone, you might want to go like with a warm brown, but I want to go with something a little cooler. I'm going to be using the Lorac Mauve color. This is the one that is in the Lorac Pro Palette #1, but I have a single of it. I don't want to use the one in the palette when I'm not traveling because I'm about to hit pan, and then if I hit pan and I have to travel with this in the palette, you know? So I'm going to be using this one. I'm just going to use a really big fluffy brush. This one is from Sigma, it's the E40. And I'm going to use it very lightly just to start applying this in the crease. Don't go too far towards the end, we're going to fix that later. Just want to add a little bit of color, and since I've already applied powder earlier, everything will blend nicely. But it's just to start the color. It really doesn't have to be precise because we're going to be going back later to fix that. You just want to make sure that it's evenly distributed all over, just above the crease. It can be a little under, it doesn't matter. So just like that. By the way, I hope you can see better because I changed chair, and I feel like the angle might be better when I try to do my makeup, because it's surprisingly very difficult to film yourself getting ready. Seriously, like if you've never tried, I recommend you do that. And I have like a newfound respect for anyone that can manage to do a full get ready with me and always being focused and up close and in frame. Here we go. I'm gonna find a smaller brush. This one is from Firma. I don't hear anyone mention these brushes, but I like them. And we're gonna go again very lightly because it's easier to build up the color towards the end, and we're going to do a little bit of a flip like this. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, we're going to fix it, but just to continue blending the color. You don't want to have too much color on the brush. It's going to be the wing, basically, part of the eyeshadow. I'm struggling here because here I have a little scar, and I swear nothing wants to blend on top of it. I'm not sure what happened. I'm going to do my best to try and blend it. Obviously, you can go as intense or as light as you want, but since we want this to be a easy and kind of beginner-friendly one, lighter is always easier. You can go also a little bit here because I feel like I never have as much color. So I'm just going to add a little bit more on the inner corners. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Once again, just a little bit of color, and then blend everything out towards like this. You don't want it to go too low. We're going to fix it no matter what, but I mean, it's just easier if there's not too much color there. And you can just go back and forth. Then once you're satisfied, I just use a clean brush to blend everything out. It's even better actually. I'm going to use, where is it? I'm going to use the Brule eyeshadow by Wet n Wild. By the way, if you've ever tried their new eyeshadow, they did change the colors. I did a full video on this. I'll link it if you want to see the swatches next to each other. So I'm going to use Brule on a big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to use it to blend everything out on top to make it as natural and flawless as possible.
So
So normally for cut crease, it's pretty much where people would start adding a deeper shade very close to the inner corner. You can use a very small brush to do that. But since we want to make it very beginner friendly and I want it to be pretty natural, I'm gonna not do that. And we're gonna skip right away to making it cut crease. So if you own a like MAC paint pot or a Maybelline color tattoo, you can use that. If you don't, or if you lost yours like me, because I lose everything, you can use your concealer. So I'm going to be using some of the Tarte Shape Tape to do it. So I'm going to use my Sigma F70 concealer brush, which is just, you know, a concealer brush. It's just a flat one. The smaller the better. I'm going to use that one. So I'm just going to be using a little bit of the concealer on my hand. And this is where you take your time. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, it's super beginner friendly because we're going to go back to add the glitter wherever it touches the shadow and the concealer. So even if you're not perfect, it's really not that big of a deal. So we're gonna go, and depending on your eye shape, this is where it completely depends. My eyelids are a little bit droppy, so if I look like this, you can't really see my crease compared if I do this, for example. So depending on your eye shape, it will depend. You can keep going, opening your eyes, you know, as you do it. So I'm gonna adjust it. We're gonna start. Again, just use a little bit of the product. Don't want to overdo it, and don't close your eyes like I just did because you're gonna mess it up. Then when you get towards the end, you definitely want to go back to trying to get that shape. A little bit of a flip because you're going to make your eyeliner the same shape. So you want to have enough space to have the glitter liner, the shadow, the glitter liner, the space, and then your eyeliner. So you need a bit of space there to be able to do that. So you can see the difference without having it cleaned and then with the cleanup. I'm not the best at cut crease, but I feel like it's still, I think we did pretty good there. And we're going to do it on the other side. But I feel like since we used a pretty light color, it's pretty forgiving. Definitely use just a shade that is a few shades darker than your skin tone. And to begin with, it's very easy to practice that way. My eye is very different on this side than this one, so I'm just gonna adjust and try to find a crease there. And then same thing on the side. And try to make them a similar-ish shape, or at least keeping it to the same height. Kinda. They look pretty similar. We're going to set a concealer, or if you use the paint pot, I'm going to use again the Brule shadow. If you want to use a different color, you can totally do that. If you wanted to do instead just glittery eyelids instead of the glittery eyeliner, that's where you would be applying it all over your lid. But I'm just going to set everything in place like this. But since this color is so close to my skin tone, which I do recommend using one if you want it to be beginner friendly, you don't have to be too careful whenever you're setting it here because it's going to be blending out basically the same color as your foundation and powder. So again, very beginner friendly. Now the really fun step is to use the glitter. The ones I'm going to be using are from the Urban Decay range. I do like these. Last time in my other video I was wearing this one. It's basically the look that I'm recreating, but I was using this one. I think I'm going to try this other color. Those are the, I didn't even say, the Urban Decay Heavy Metal glitter eyeliner. And the one I was wearing in a few of my videos was the color Distortion, which is like a clear with like kind of green, pink, bluish one. I think I'm going to try this one, which we're going to see. It might be a bit too natural for the camera, but this one is like blue-green, reddish ones. I feel like it looks kind of festive. If it's not enough, I'll go back with this one, but any glitter eyeliner you want to use. And again, these colors are very beginner friendly because it's kind of like clear with glitter, so you don't have to be extremely precise. So we're going to try the other one that I was mentioning. I didn't mention the color. This one was a Pyro. literally on the line of the concealer and eyeshadow and the other eyeshadow that you blended. So it's gonna hide if everything wasn't perfectly even, so we're good. So I think I'm pretty satisfied with the way it looks, so I'm going to go ahead and continue. If I feel like there's something that I need to change, I'll go back and fix it afterwards. But for my eyeliner, I'm going to be using, this is the Clinique Pretty Easy Eyelining Pen, which nobody mentions, but it's really great. So I'm going to start in the inner corner, and the tricky part here is to make sure that the shape of your eyeliner is going to be similar to the one here. Which usually I make my eyeliner a little bit higher than this, but for this look, we want to make sure that it's pretty flat. I would rather be a little further, but to make sure you can see it, than up close and you miss half of it. If you have pretty small lid space, try to make your eyeliner as thin as possible so you can still have that lid color. If you have big lids, I'm jealous. You can go ahead and do it as thick as you want. And now the tricky part, which always makes me nervous. I think it's not too bad, so we're gonna go ahead and do the other one. And again, the tricky part, and this eye is the hardest one too. Probably should have started with this one, but if you're just starting out, I would definitely recommend trying to keep the wing as short as possible. It's just easier to try and avoid making a mistake. At this point, I'm happy, so I'm going to be applying mascaras. I'm going to use the CoverGirl Lash Blast. I accidentally got a black brown, so I'm going to be following it up with the Clump Crusher, also by CoverGirl. By the way, with this look, I avoid applying anything on my lower lash line, mascara and eyeshadow. If you prefer that look, definitely go ahead and do it. I personally like not doing it. I feel like it really emphasizes that eye shape, that like cat eye, just something I've been into right now. If you want to, you can stop right here. You're going to be good to go. If you want to add some false lashes, which I do, I feel like it really is something that's going to make your eye look like really finished and like done. And if your eyeliner is not perfect, it hides it very nicely. I'm going to use these half lashes. These are from Kiss IMV. I don't remember exactly which number anymore, which really sucks because I need to repurchase these. They're awesome. But anything that gives you that cat eye look would be perfect. So this is what the final eye look looks like. What do you think? I think we did pretty well. How did yours go? Because I think this is such an easy, fun way to make it like look like you spent a ton of work, but I mean, it's not that difficult, but I like it. So now we're gonna go and finish the rest of the face now that the stressful part is done. For my bronzer, I'm gonna be using the Physician Formula Butter Bronzer. And is it me or it's kind of weird to use it during the winter because it smells like summer, like coconut, like sunscreen? I don't know. But I guess if you miss summer, it kind of smells like summer. Blush, I'm gonna go with something a bit neutral so I don't, you know, take anything away from the eyes. I'm gonna use the Benefit Cosmetic Blush in Rocketeer, which is basically a rose gold color. I feel like on me it's a bit on the warm side though, so I don't want to make it too intense, so I don't want to clash because the eye look is a bit on the cool side, but I think, no, I think we're good. Never mind. And then we're gonna have extra fun with the highlighter because it's the time if you want to wear glitter to just go crazy with the highlighter also. And I've been loving this Tarte Amazonian Clay highlighter in the color Stunner. I got this during the Sephora sale, and if you want something that is really bam in your face, this is perfect. It's a little bit on the cooler side too, but it's not straight up silver. I've been really enjoying that one. And are you ready for this? I like barely touched it and look how intense that is. It's crazy. But again, if you want to wear this for any event or even for New Year's Eve, you're gonna glow in your pictures for sure with this. I'm gonna add just a little bit on my nose because once again, this is intense. We want it to be semi-natural in the nose. And for my lips, I think I'm gonna go with something pretty neutral because again, I don't want to compete, and I've been loving this lipstick. I'm always raving about it. So if you don't own it, you need to. And it's the Essence Matte 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 lipstick in the color 02, and it looks super close to MAC Faux, which is like holy grail to me. And this is something that would look good on almost anyone. If you're looking for a new neutral everyday lipstick, this is great. So this is what the makeup looks like from a little further. I think we did a pretty good job. I'm liking it. I'm gonna go ahead and include the clips of me getting ready, the clothes, jewelry, and everything, because I think the lighting is gonna be off. There's like no sun left, and I wanna make sure you can see the outfit properly. So if I'm not wearing the same makeup, it's because I've had to do it in a different day, but I'm gonna try still tonight. So this is the outfit. I decided to wear this pretty dress from Zara. It has a loose A-line fit, which hides a holiday food baby. I don't know about you, but I had too much food. There's a gorgeous flowery pattern on it, and it matches the eye look because there's also some glitters on it. And finally, I added my Zara coat, which I love since it has the leather sleeves. And obviously, I had to wear some sock black booties, and they're from ASOS. This is what the final look looks like. I decided to not add any jewelry because I felt like I had already enough going on. And voila! So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, not miss any future videos. I hope you enjoyed this recreation of a look I was wearing the other day. Don't forget to subscribe, not miss any future videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!